Are you preparing to take a cruise on Carnival? If so, you want to watch this video because I'm going to provide you with 20 quick tips that'll make your cruise vacation a lot easier. Hey there, y'all. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and with almost 70 cruises under our belt since 2019, we are your go-to spot for all things cruise related. Whether it be family cruising in the Caribbean, solo cruising in the Mediterranean, off the beaten path shore excursions, cruise tips and tricks, we have you covered. So let's jump right in with my top tips for cruising with Carnival. But before we get started, if you love cruise and travel content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We release at least one full-length cruise vlog every Friday, and with over 18 cruises already on the books for 2025, you don't want to miss out on any of our solo and family cruise adventures, so be sure to hit that notification bell as well. Hey, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and today I want to share with you some of my personal tips for cruising on Carnival Cruise Line. Now, I have cruised 65 times since 2019, and in fact, my very first cruise was on board a Carnival cruise ship. I cruised on board Carnival Sensation with my sisters back in 2019, my very first cruise, and I can tell you that Carnival really set the tone for me to love cruising. Now, there are some things that you can do with Carnival that'll make your vacation a lot easier, and I'm going to share those with you today. Now, these tips aren't in any particular order, and I'm sure I'm not covering all of the tips out there for cruising with Carnival. So if I missed something, be sure to leave a comment. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. We have tons of Carnival Cruise Line content on our channel, from Carnival Celebration to Carnival Sunrise, Carnival Conquest, and even their newer ships, Carnival Celebration, as well as their Carnival fun Italian style ships, Carnival Venezia, Carnival Firenze. So be sure to check out those vlogs. Cruise tip number one: be sure to download the Carnival Hub app before your cruise. Now, the Carnival Hub app really isn't useful until you get on your cruise. In advance, you can download it and add your booking number, and it'll just direct you back to the website where you can purchase add-ons such as Wi-Fi, shore excursions, things like that. But once on board this ship, you will need the Carnival Hub app because that's where you're going to find your onboard spending account. You're going to find ship maps. You're going to be able to pay $5 per person to chat with people within your group using their chat feature if you don't have Wi-Fi. But you're going to find everything that you need to know in that Carnival Hub app. And you want to have it downloaded before you get on the ship, because once you get on the ship, if you don't have Wi-Fi, it may be a challenge trying to get that app downloaded. So again, you might not find it to be very useful in advance, but once you get on board the ship, you connect to the ship's Wi-Fi, which you can connect to the ship's Wi-Fi free of charge. You can access everything there is in the app, including the ship's schedule as far as all of the activities and events that are available for your sailing, and just all kinds of fun things on the Carnival Hub app. Now, my favorite feature of the app is being able to place a heart beside my favorite things that I want to get to, because they will send a notification to you about a half hour before those events so that you don't forget. So be sure to download the Carnival Hub app. And speaking of Carnival Hub app, you'll want to make sure that you go onto carnival.com, or you can access it through the Carnival Hub app, to add on any cruise add-ons in advance of your cruise. Do not wait till you get on the ship, because you're going to save money by booking in advance. So I'm speaking of things such as your Wi-Fi, drink packages, shore excursions, things like that. You want to add those on before you get on the cruise. Otherwise, you're going to pay 10 to 20% more on board the ship. So save money and book these things in advance. All right, so tip number 3, pack drinks and wine. So Carnival is one of the few cruise lines that will allow you to actually carry on board one 750 milliliter bottle of wine per adult in the cabin, as well as one 12-pack of canned sodas or water per person in your cabin. Now, when I say canned water, that's what I mean, canned water. Carnival will not allow you to pack any bottles, so you cannot carry bottled water, bottled soda, bottled juice. It will have to be in a can. Liquor is not allowed to be brought on board, but again, you can carry on one bottle of wine per person. Now, another pro tip for you would be, instead of carrying them in the carton, the cardboard carton that you would get from the store, take the cans out of the cardboard box and put them in like a reusable grocery bag. That way you don't have to risk your cardboard tearing or ripping as you're going through the terminal trying to get to your cabin. Also, be sure that the wine and the sodas are not packed in your checked bags, because if they're packed in your checked bags, they are going to confiscate them. You have to make sure that your wine and your sodas are being brought in through the terminal, either in your carry-on bag, or if you have, like I said, the reusable storage bag or grocery bag, it has to go through the x-ray. If you pack it in your check bag, they will confiscate it. But again, you can carry on a 12-pack of soda per person, as well as a 750 milliliter bottle of wine. And guys, don't be tempted to do some of the things that you might hear about on TikTok where people are carrying on liquor. You don't want to be banned by doing that. Number 4, select your dining time in advance. So whenever you make your booking on carnival.com, or if you're working with a travel advisor, you'll want to make sure that you select your dining time for the main dining room. So this is just for the main dining room for dinner if you choose to eat in the main dining room. You don't have to eat in the main dining room. You can choose to go to the buffet. You can choose to do any of the casual dining included options, or you can choose to pay for specialty dining. But if you want to dine in the main dining room, Carnival offers 3 different seating options. Usually they have early dining, which is around 6 p.m. They'll also have late dining, which is usually around 8:15 p.m. And then they'll have anytime dining where you can check in on the Carnival Hub app. Again, that's why it's important to have it. If you have the anytime dining, then you will be able to check in between about 5:30 and 9 p.m. to go to a different dining room. Now, the difference, if you do the early or late dining, those are set dining times. So you will have the same serving team, the same table, the same time each night. If you do anytime dining, that's great for people that want to have some flexibility, but just know that it can be challenging if you have multiple cabins booked trying to get everyone to dine at the same time. And you're going to also have a different serving team as well as different table each night. So figure out which dining time works for you and make sure you get that on your booking in advance. Otherwise, you will be unassigned and it could be challenging once you get on board trying to get a preferred dining time. Number 5, if you are concerned about credit card or debit card holds, use a cash account. So when you do your online check-in, which will take place 14 to 16 days before your cruise, you will have to set up an onboard spending account. This just allows you to make purchases on board. So Carnival Cruise Line, most cruise ships are cashless, meaning you have to have a credit card, debit card, or something linked to make purchases while on board. Now, I know you're probably saying, but I don't plan to buy anything. They still require that you have money on your account. That way, if there's any charges for any incidentals, or if you decide to make a charge, you have it already set up. So when you do your online check-in, you can choose to put down a credit or debit card, but do know that Carnival will authorize pre-holds. Usually it's about $100 for shorter cruises and $200 for longer cruises. Now these are pre-authorization holds, and it could impact how much you're able to spend depending on how much you have in your account. So that means if you only have $200 in your account and Carnival authorizes $200, it is a courtesy hold or a pre-authorization hold that just lets Carnival know that you do have the funds available. However, those funds will not be released until after you get off the cruise. So it's going to impact your spending and could potentially give you some overdraft charges if your account is low. So keep that in mind. An alternative to that would be to set up a cash account. So whenever you do your online check-in, you can select cash account. And then whenever you get on board the ship, you can either in the terminal, you can give them cash, $100 for 5 nights or less, $200 for 6 nights or longer. Or once you get on the ship, which is what I usually do, you can go to one of the sail and sign kiosks and add cash directly there. So it's on your account. Now, at the end of your cruise, if you don't spend that money, you can go back to the kiosk or to guest services to get money back. So again, use a cash account if you have concerns about courtesy holds on your account. All right, so I just want to take a quick pause. If you're finding any of this information to be useful, please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up because we want to see that we're able to share this information and cruise tips and cruise vlogs with so many others. And you can help us out by pushing us out further into the algorithm by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 6, attend the Fun Ashore, Fun Abroad show. Now, this is Carnival's welcome aboard show where it usually happens either on embarkation day or the morning of the second day of the cruise. And what it is the cruise director will present to you different things you need to know about cruising with Carnival. They'll review how to use the app. They'll talk about all the dining options available on board. They'll even go into detail about the different ports you'll be visiting, giving you information about those ports, as well as shore excursions and things. Now, the best part about the Fun Abroad, Fun Ashore show is that they give away some amazing raffles. Now, you have to be present to win. As you enter, they will give you a raffle ticket, but they give away things such as specialty dining, Wi-Fi, excursions, sometimes wine and different things. So you want to be present, especially if you are a new cruiser to Carnival, because they're going to give you a lot of good information and you have a great chance to win some prizes. Number 7, cruise check-in. Now, if you are someone that has a preferred time that you want to arrive at the ship, then I recommend that you set an alarm to check in as soon as you're able to. So, online check in begins for those who are one of the lower tiers loyalty statuses with Carnival, 14 days. So, if you are blue, meaning you've never cruised with Carnival, red, or gold, then your online check in starts 14 days before your cruise and it starts at midnight. If you are platinum or diamond, you're going to have your check in open up at 16 days prior to your cruise. And you just go onto the Carnival Hub app or to carnival.com. You're going to complete all of your online check in and you're going to select your arrival time. Now, for us, we like to arrive early. We are pretty high status with Carnival, so we're able to check in and get like a 10:30 slot. So if you want to avoid the crowds getting on the ship, then set your alarm for either 14 to 16 days before you're sailing at midnight to do the online check-in, because those preferred times, which are usually like the 10:30, 11 o'clock slot, or even the later slots, they sell out early. And you can avoid the crowds by selecting an early or a late check-in time. Number 8, research your ship and check to see which specialty dining options may include complimentary food. So, for instance, Carnival's Excel class ships, Carnival Jubilee, Carnival Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, they offer some included specialty dining options such as shebang and cucina del capitano. That's for dinner. So you can dine there free of charge during your cruise. You just have to check in and schedule a time on the Carnival Hub app once you're on the ship. But there's other cruise ships, some of the older ships, like I'm thinking of Carnival Sunrise, that may offer Gigi's Asian Kitchen that will offer complimentary lunch. Now you will pay for dinner, but if you do the lunch option, it is included. Now the menu will be a little bit different, but it gives you something different other than the buffet, Guy's Burger, things like that. So definitely check. Cucina del Capitano is also one where you can go. They'll have, I think it's called Pasta Bella Bar, where you can go and get complimentary Italian options for lunch. So do your research to figure out how can you eat across the ship for free. Number 9, don't miss the sail away party. Now, if you've done any research about Carnival Cruise Line, I am pretty sure you probably came across a sail away party. Carnival Cruise Line does sail away parties the best, in my opinion. So you're going to have everyone kind of come together on the Lido deck. The cruise director is going to be there. He's going to introduce like the kids club staff, the entertainment staff. They're going to dance. They're going to party. They're going to have dance offs. It is a lot of fun. So you don't want to miss it. It really kind of starts your vacation the right way. You get to come together. And I can tell you, Carnival does it best as far as bringing people together. So you don't want to miss the sail away party or any of the other deck parties that they have throughout the cruise, such as like the White Night party. They'll do like a 90s theme party. So you don't want to miss any of those deck parties because they are a lot of fun. Number 10, if you are traveling with kids, you want to make sure that you take advantage of their Camp Ocean program. So, Camp Ocean is the kids club on board Carnival Cruise Line, and it is complimentary. It is included in your cruise fare. So, take advantage. I can tell you that our kids absolutely love Carnival, their kids club, teens club, and again, it's complimentary. Now, for the kids, when you get on board, actually, before you get on board, your online check in, they'll have you pre register. But once you get on board, you'll want to show up during one of their open house hours, which is usually around 1 o'clock or so on embarkation day, where you can go check out the kids club, make sure that their registration is complete, and they'll give you information as far as the times that the kids clubs are open. Now, again, you can check this out in the Carnival Hub app to see what times they're open as far as, and also what activities they are doing in the kids club. That way your child can pick and choose when they want to go to the kids club. Now, for the most part, on sea days, the kids club will be open usually in the mornings. They'll close down possibly for lunch, and then they'll reopen up, and then they'll be open up for dinner. And then they also have Camp Owls, which you might pay, I think it's $8 per kid per hour after 10 p.m. if you want them to stay out as late as 1 a.m. So they do offer lots of activities for the kids. They'll have a karaoke, they'll have pajama parties, they'll have arts and crafts, they'll bring magicians into the kids club. It is a lot of fun. You want to take advantage of it. Of course, you want to spend time with your kids on board the cruise ship too, but you also need some adult time. So be sure to take advantage of Camp Ocean. And then for the teens, they have the teens clubs. Now, the teens clubs, they don't have as many open hours as the kids clubs, but you can go to the teens club to check out what they do offer. A lot of times they'll open at like 7 o'clock in the evening and go through until 1 a.m. So take advantage of Camp Ocean. It is a wonderful program for kids. They enjoy going, they have a lot of fun, and the staff is amazing. Number 11, consider the length of your cruise when you're thinking about the vibe on Carnival. Now, don't pretend like you've never heard it. that Carnival is considered a booze cruise. There is some facts to that, but it depends on the length of your cruise. If you are selecting a cruise that is a 3 night cruise on board Carnival Conquest or Carnival Liberty or one of the cruises that offers shorter sailings, and it's a weekend cruise, you can expect that it's going to be a little bit more upbeat and it's going to be a little bit more party, because that's what the weekend cruises are. People want to go, they want to have fun. Now, I'm not saying that there's going to be drunks all over the place and there's going to be fights and things, because guys, that is exaggerated in the media. I can tell you that I've been on so many Carnival cruises and I have yet to experience that. But if you want more of a chill vibe, still that same fun Carnival atmosphere, consider a longer cruise, like a 6 or 7 night cruise, because you'll notice that it's a lot more laid back. You're still going to have a lot of those fun elements, but it's not going to be as rowdy. It's not going to be as party because it's attracting a different vibe, because you have a longer cruise and people are going to take their time, with the fun and having drinks and partying and things. So consider the length of your cruise if you have any concerns about the vibe you may have on Carnival. And obviously you can avoid any of the party by, there's all kinds of activities across the ship that you can do. You can avoid the Lido deck. That's usually where a lot of the fun and parties and things like that will happen. So there's lots of activities throughout the ship that's not just a pool party and what you might see on social media as being a wild atmosphere. That is not true. A lot of that is exaggerated in the media. You have to check it out for yourself, but if you want to avoid it, maybe not consider a 3-day cruise with Carnival. Go for something a little bit longer. Number 12, and if you want to escape the kids altogether, check out the adults only Serenity deck. Now, pretty much all of the Carnival ships offer an adults only Serenity deck, but what they have on that particular deck may vary depending on the age of the ship. But you're going to find there usually some sort of exclusive jacuzzi for adults. Now, when I say adults, I'm speaking 18 and older. They're going to have some plush loungers, seating area. They're going to have a bar. And then some of the ships also offer like a salad bar for lunchtime. So if you want to escape and not be around kids, then definitely check out the adults only Serenity Retreat, where it's 18 and up and you can have exclusive access without kids. Also, some Carnival cruise ships will offer the aft of the ship. They have an aft pool that is an adults only. Now, that's not the case across all of Carnival ships. Some of the ships, the aft pool will be adults only. Number 13, theme nights. So Carnival will have different theme nights throughout the cruise, and it depends on the length of your cruise. So some common themes that you will find on board Carnival, you will more than likely have some sort of white night, which will involve everyone dressing up in white. They'll have a deck party late at night where it's amazing. They play amazing music and everyone's dressed in white. A lot of times they'll also offer like an 80s or 90s themed pool party or deck party where you can go out there for that. They'll also offer like music themed nights such as Motown, where you go to the atrium and then you can sing Motown and sing-alongs and different things. So what I advise you to do is, if you're trying to figure out for your particular ship what the theme nights are, because they do sometimes change, would be to go onto Facebook and find a Facebook group for a sailing before yours, and you can ask the question on what theme nights were present on their sailing. Again, each ship kind of varies, but in general, you're going to have some sort of white night, some sort of decade night. You're going to have a Motown night, and there's a couple of others. So make sure you check on the Facebook groups to see what theme nights are offered and pack accordingly. Number 14, I'm sure you guys probably already know this, but for the most part, it's all you can eat on Carnival cruise ships. So you're going to have those casual dining options, Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina. You're going to have the buffet. You're going to have some ships will have Guy's Pig and Anchor Barbecue, which is usually only open for lunch during sea days. All of those things are included. But did you know that unlike other cruise lines, for the main dining room, not that you want to order a whole lot of food, but if you are someone that likes to try a bunch of different foods, something that Carnival changed not too long ago is that the main dining room is no longer unlimited. Now, you can order unlimited appetizers, but as far as the main entrees, you can get up to 2 entrees per person. That's included. If you choose to add on a third entree, you're going to be charged $7 per person. Now, I know I've had some recent clients that haven't cruised Carnival in years that were surprised by that. And they do that to limit waste. So be mindful of what you are eating and wasting. Want to make sure you're not wasting things. But just know that when you go to the main dining room, unlike other spots on the ship where it's unlimited, except for specialty dining, It is no longer unlimited in the main dining room. You can get up to 2 entrees per person, unlimited appetizers, unlimited desserts, but those entrees are two per person. And if you ask for a third one, they are going to charge you $7. Number 15, nightly shows. So Carnival will offer different nightly shows each night on the cruise. Some in the main theater, they'll offer comedians at the Punchliner Comedy Club. They'll have all kinds of activities going on. Now, something that Carnival does not do that some other cruise lines offer is a reservation system. So if you want to get to a show, you need to make sure that you get there early to get a good spot. A lot of times the shows will start at around 7:30 p.m. So the doors will open at 7 p.m. So you'll want to get in line to make sure that you're able to get a good spot. Now there are some very popular shows and game shows on board, such as like Family Feud, that really fill up quickly. So if you want to take advantage of some of those shows, you want to get in line. Same thing for Punchliner Comedy Club. They will offer PG family themed shows as well as rated R adult shows. And depending on the comedian, sometimes those lines can be through the casino. So you want to make sure that you plan accordingly, use that Carnival Hub app and put a star or heart there so you get a reminder and get in line. That way you can get a good seat. Number 16, don't over tip. Now, this is very, very important, especially for those of you who have the drink package. Now, you can pre purchase the Cheers or Bubbles package on Carnival's website. Now, these are their exclusive drink packages. Keep in mind, Carnival will provide you with a receipt for every drink. And on the receipt, there's going to be a line that's going to ask for a gratuity or for a tip. Do not tip extra unless you choose to. Keep in mind, if you've already pre-purchased the Bubbles package or the Cheers package, you have already paid your gratuities. And if you didn't get a package and you are buying drinks a la carte, they're automatically adding that tip or service charge onto your bill. They're still going to print off a receipt for you to sign, but on that line where it says tip, you put a 0 or don't put anything unless you want to give something extra. So I've had some clients that have over tipped, not realizing that they were already charged the service charge. So make sure that you don't add anything extra if you don't want to, because otherwise you're going to be over tipping and paying a lot more for the drinks than you need to. Number 17, go to Sea Day Brunch. Now, Sea Day Brunch is only offered on, you guessed it, Sea Days. And I find Sea Day Brunch to be one of my favorite dining options on board Carnival Cruise Line. So it's complimentary and you get things that you won't find on the buffet or going to one of the other casual spots or even the main dining room for breakfast. And so you're going to find things such as I think it's called 7-hour French toast. You're going to find different skillet cake. That was one of my favorites. You can get steak and eggs, different things there. And it's more of a casual, laid back environment to kind of get your sea day started right. So I highly encourage you to check out the included Sea Day Brunch. It is one of our favorites. And you can check in on the Carnival Hub app. It usually begins, brunch is usually from like 8:30 to noon. And you can check in when you're ready to dine on the Carnival Hub app. Now, we dine early. So usually by like 8:15, I'm checking us in so we can get in, before the crowd. But just know you don't have to go down to the main dining room to wait for your Sea Day Brunch time. You can check in on the app and it's going to alert you when your table is ready and you have 10 minutes to get to the main dining room to check in at your table. So utilize the Carnival Hub app and be sure to check out that Sea Day Brunch. Number 18, Culture City. So Carnival is one of the few cruise lines that is certified Culture City. Now, what Culture City is, I do have another video that I'll link right here that gives you more information about it, but it's a program for individuals that may have sensory disorders. Whether it's a child or an adult, they partnered with Culture City and they're able to provide sensory kits for those who may need them. And so you can go to guest services or to the Kids or Teens Club and ask to check out a sensory bag. It's going to include things such as fidgets. It's going to include sound canceling headsets. It's going to have sunshades for those who may not like the lights at the shows. And it's also going to provide a lanyard that says Culture City. That way the adult or child can be identified amongst the staff if they are in need of assistance, and they can identify that that individual has some sort of sensory or processing disorder, autism, what have you, and then they can be there to help support. So the staff is very, very helpful in that regard. And Carnival is extremely inclusive of individuals with disabilities. So make sure that your travel advisor or Carnival makes note if you have somebody traveling with you that may have a disability or may have autism or special needs, because they will make a note on the booking. And then you can check in with the Kids Teens Club to let them know kind of how they can help support. They are very, very accommodating in that regard. And again, they are one of the few cruise lines that are Culture City certified. Number 19, make sure you pack an adapter. So, an adapter for your cabin where you can charge multiple devices. A lot of Carnival ships, especially some of their middle aged to older ships, will only have one, maybe two standard outlets or maybe a European outlet inside the cabin. So, you'll want to make sure that you have an approved cord that you can use to actually charge USB cords or USB devices and other things. Otherwise, you could be in a situation where you're not able to charge things because you only have one outlet. So you can do research by searching on YouTube and other places for cabin tours. A lot of times, cabin tours will explain to you the outlets that are provided in your cabin, but usually there's not many. So you want to make sure that you pack some sort of adapter. That way you're able to charge your devices. And number 20, disembarkation. I know we all hate to get off the cruise, but you want to make sure that you are following the procedures for Carnival as far as getting off the ship to make it a lot easier for everyone. Now, the night before your cruise, you're going to receive information in your cabin that's going to tell you, if you want to check your bags so that your bags meet you in the terminal, you can do that. They'll give you instructions on to leave things outside your cabin by 10 p.m. the night before. They'll make sure that your luggage gets to the terminal and you'll pick it up from there. But you will check in on the Carnival Hub app. Again, Carnival Hub app is very important. Usually about the second or third day of your cruise, if you go to day 7, or if you're on a 7-night cruise, the last day of your cruise, if you go to that day, they're going to allow you to schedule your disembarkation time. Now, this is just a way for them to kind of make sure that people aren't all getting off the ship at the same time. It'll help make things a lot less crowded. Not everyone follows that, but go in, schedule the time. That way you kind of have an idea of what time you can start getting off the ship and follow the instructions that are given to you. It'll save a headache for you and everyone else if you do that. And just know that if you have an early flight, which you should not book a flight before like 11:30, 12 o'clock. If you have an early flight, when you do your online check-in, if you communicate that to Carnival, they will do their best to try to get you an early disembarkation time. And if you are a priority status, or if you are someone or traveling with someone that has special needs, they will also include information in your cabin on where to meet up so that you can be amongst some of the first to get off the ship. So just make sure you follow the instructions that are left in your cabin for disembarkation, and then do your disembarkation appointment time or check-in time on the Carnival Hub app. All right, and those are just some of my quick tips for making your Carnival cruise a lot easier, a lot more fun, and again, just a lot easier for you. So I'm sure there are other tips, and I'll probably come back with some more tips for you. But these are just some of the first ones that I thought of for those who are new cruisers, new to Carnival, or going back to Carnival. Now, again, I know I missed some things. So if I did, drop in the comments your favorite tip or something you want to share with others on how they can make their Carnival cruise vacation even better. Now, again, if you are looking to book a Carnival cruise or any cruise, feel free to reach out to us at Major Adventures Travel. We would love to help you. And go back and check out some of our Carnival cruise vlogs. Again, we've cruised on probably over half of Carnival's fleet, so we have tons of content there for you. Again, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all of that. See, lights are out. That means it's time to go. We appreciate your support, and have fun on your Carnival cruise vacation.